This is the One for All Smart Control Pro 6 Universal Remote Control. This remote's on the lower end of the range that you can pay for a universal programmable remote. It's in this lower segment. It's on the higher price range in the lower segment at $59 or $60, so something to be aware of. But it does have the backlit functionality and various ways to program it, and really the big differentiator here is the Bluetooth. So it can control Bluetooth based Fire TV, Roku, and Google TVs, which is really slick. The design of the remote is really nice. It has underneath it a little notch for your finger so you know where to rest it. And it's narrow. The buttons are a little small for my liking. It could do with probably less buttons, but it's a nice remote. And it's a 6-device controller, which means you can control up to 6 different devices. And taking a closer look under the dedicated apps buttons, you can see there's 3 buttons. These are macros. The one looks like a TV play button and a music button. And basically you can program to do multiple functions with one click. So it might be, for example, turn on my stereo, turn on my TV, and turn on my soundbar, and turn on Apple TV, all with one click. It's pretty cool that you can program multiple into one button. At least it's cool that you have the option. I don't know if I'll ever get to use it, but it's nice that it's there. The other thing you'll notice is that it's a full remote. It has not only the center circle button that a lot of the newer remotes has, but it has all the channel buttons and a dash button for antenna channels. And the red, green, yellow, blue buttons on the bottom are additional programmable buttons that you can use to do anything you want. By the way, if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up or the bell to subscribe. And it also has a really nice backlight feature, which was another distinguishing reason I got this specific remote. You can see when you click the OK button, the backlight comes on all the buttons and it gradually fades off, which is really nice, especially when I'm on the couch and there's nothing but the TV. It's really good to be able to see it, but also nice that it subtly comes on and off. Just going to do a few more here. Click the center button and show you. Every button lights up from behind, and it's not a bright light, which is really nice. I think this is maybe a little less intensity that I would like, but way better than the cheaper remotes that have backlight that light up like a Christmas tree, kind of very bright. I like this one a lot, and I like that it's gradual. And another way to activate the backlight is motion activated, which is really nice. So if the remote's down on the table and you're laying on the couch and you pick it up, it also activates the light, and then it just gradually fades off. So this remote is trainable. You can teach it commands from other infrared remotes, and it can receive and then replicate those commands as an infrared remote. Note, the training of the remote is limited to infrared remotes at this time, as there's no way to train it to do things from another Bluetooth remote. So you can point as many remotes at this remote to train it as you want, which is really cool. So of the 6 device settings, if you pick TV or any of the other 5, you can point multiple remotes at it and learn the functions of each remote on a single consolidated device on this remote, which is really, really handy. So first you select which device. I'm going to click stream, which I've already got programmed mostly, but I've got a couple buttons I want to add. And then once you have that, hold down the back button and the X button. And there you'll see the stream button at the top. The device I had selected will blink quickly. Then you can let go of the back button and the X button. And then next you're going to punch in the numbers 9, 7, 5. And then the stream button, or whatever button you had, is going to blink blue for about 5 seconds. While it's doing that, you hit the button on the new remote that you want to train. So I'm going to hit the mute button on the new remote. And then I'm going to go to the old TV remote and hit the mute button. And you'll see when it receives it, the stream button will blink twice. That tells you it's learned the command. And while you're in training mode or learning mode, you can do multiples. So I'm going to do the plus button for volume up, and on the old remote I'll hit volume up. Then I'll come back and do the minus button for volume down, and on the old remote I'll click volume down. And basically you just let it sit there for 10 seconds and it will go out of learning mode. So now to put it to use, I'm going to have it selected on stream. And you can see the stream lighten up when I use the buttons. I'm on YouTube, and I'm going to do the volume up, volume down. Go right to pausing it, and then I'll do play to get it to play again on YouTube. You can see I'm doing all these commands, so I'm hitting the Apple TV with the YouTube commands, and I'm hitting the Vizio TV itself with the volume up, volume down commands and mute. So it's pretty cool. It works by combining multiple remotes into one, as well as not having to change which function you're using in that remote. And if you're so inclined, this does come with an app that you can load on your phone or tablet. And basically, it looks like a chat bot the way it works, which I don't know why they did that, but they did. But you can start the app up after you download it. To start with, when you open the app up, you're going to have to find your remote. So you're going to have to tell it which remote you bought, and then it's going to go look for it and connect the app to your remote. So that does take a little bit of time to set up. And speaking of a little bit of time, when you do find your remote and it does connect, it's going to want to do a software update, which takes a lot of time. Recommend you make a sandwich or get comfy while it does that. And for this process, all you got to do is hold the OK key down for 3 seconds, and then hold that remote near your device, the phone or tablet that you're running this app on, and it's going to connect via Bluetooth. So you just got to make sure that they're near each other, and it'll search for it, and then it'll connect. And now that it's connected to the app, you can go back into the app and click Add a TV to identify your TV. It's pretty easy to do. I just went in and selected the brand. I got a Vizio. So I didn't have to do anything with the remote pointing it towards the TV. I did it all through the app for this part. And once I came up with the options for Vizio, basically it's going through and looking at all the different options and saying, okay, try a few buttons now and tell me which ones work. And if it works, great. If not, tell it to try the next one, because once you say it works, it's going to say, oh, I've identified your Vizio TV among all the other Vizio TVs, or whatever brand you have. But it's relatively straightforward. I think it's a lot easier than having to know the digits or the combination code of every vendor. For a lot of these universal remotes, you have to look at the manual, and there's like thousands of digits you got to know for different brands and models and all that. So I think this is a little bit of an improvement, although I think the app overall is clunky, and you may find you have to repair your remote multiple times. But I mean, it's a step forward, I guess. So now that my TV is identified and logged into the app and works through the new remote, I'm going to look at the stream device. There's multiple options for streaming device. I actually have two. I have the Zumo Stream Box and the Apple TV. The Apple TV obviously was right there, but I want to try the Zumo Box first. I'd really like to see, since it has the Bluetooth ability to connect, if it can connect to the Zumo Box, because I tried training the Zumo Box remote against this remote, and I don't think the Zumo Box is infrared, therefore it's not trainable on the new remote. I think it's like the Google and the Roku ones, where you have to know it has to be Bluetooth to be able to control the Fire Stick or the whatever the Google TV equivalent is. But yeah, it doesn't unfortunately come up for any kind of search I did on Zumo, Charter, Comcast, who are, I think, parent companies of the joint venture here. So nothing comes up. So as of this point, right now, as of this writing, unfortunately, it doesn't connect to Zumo, which kind of made me want to return it at that point. But I didn't return it. I kept it. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, because I really started to enjoy it after a few weeks of using it, especially with the antenna TV and the guide function. You can see, like on the TV, if it has a tuner in it, you can see what's on each channel, as well as what's coming up next. It's like a program guide of sorts for over-the-air content. I wasn't getting that on my last universal remote because it didn't have a button for it, but this one does, and I really enjoy that. It's a nice to have a duplicate. This thing is a great duplicate for original equipment manufacturer, OEM remotes, the ones that come with your devices. So I'm very happy with this remote for the price point. The things that it does far exceed the things that it doesn't do. I love the backlighting. I love that I can train it to work with other infrared remotes. It would be nice if it worked with the Zumo box, but it doesn't yet. But I feel like that's just a software update. They could figure out how to do that if enough people said we're using the Zumo box, which would be nice because then you'd have a backlit remote for that device as well.